Hello, my name's David, and I'm going to be reviewing the Glarry GPP-110. I believe it's called GPP for Glarry Portable Piano as opposed to the GDP models, the Glarry Digital Pianos, which I've previously reviewed. I'm going to be breaking this review down into 4 categories. 1, what's included. I'll talk about all the hardware included in the box once it arrives to your door. 2, the piano's features. Here I'll address the hardware this piano contains and the functions the piano is capable of supporting. 3 is the review. Here is where I'll talk about my experience with the piano over the last couple of weeks, how it feels to play, its strengths and weaknesses, and my overall thoughts of the machine with a pro-con breakdown. And then 4, finally, the bottom line. This is where I'll talk about who this piano may be best suited for, given its various benefits or limitations. What's included? As with all the Glarry products I've received, this piano package will include various accessories. A purple piano cover, a plastic sheet music clip, piano key stickers, a cleaning cloth, and headphones with a 3.5mm jack. Additionally, the package also contains the following extras: a dual Phillips flathead screwdriver, mine actually came with 2 because I'm extra cool, 4 plastic stabilizers for the legs, a universal headphone jack adapter, a MIDI to USB-A cable, a USB-C to USB-A adapter, and a USB-A to Bluetooth dongle. I think this package is standard for every piano that Glarry offers, even if some of the inclusions don't seem to be applicable to the specific model you may have ordered. In this case, the Bluetooth dongle seems to be completely incompatible with this particular device, but we love a free pack-in. Now, as for the piano itself, this device has essentially 3 parts that need to be assembled. The 2 legs are connected by 3 screws each to the main piano body. Once the legs are screwed on, you can just attach the sheet music stand with the included thumb screws. When this is done, you can just plug in the floating pedaling rig and the power cable, and then it's ready to play. The assembly page, as with all Glarry pianos I've reviewed, couldn't be simpler. It's 1 page. Piano features. Starting with the most basic information about the piano, this is a full 88-key model with dimensions of about 4 feet in length, about 1 foot in depth, and a bit under 3 feet in height with the sheet music stand attached. On the back, the piano has hardware to support the following: MIDI, a generic sustain pedal, the included pedaling rig, aux in and headphone aux out, a volume knob, the included USB-C power input, and the on-off button indicated by a light. This piano also has 2 onboard speakers to the right and left of the underside of the piano body. I hope I'm not giving misinformation, but I believe the speakers are both outputting the same mono signal. I don't think there is a true stereo separation, despite the words stereo dual speakers in the manual. Anyway, there are also 2 slots for headphones in case maybe you have another device you want to send signal to as well. I listened to the sound in the included headphones, and as you can see, the headphones do have a stereo separation. The 2 rings here separate the right and left ear, but I think the piano is simply putting the same signal to both sides of the headphone, as well as to both of the speakers. Functionally, this is also going to be a very short section. The piano doesn't seem to have any extra features like the ability to change the piano sound, or play rhythms, or a metronome, or anything like this. You just turn it on, and the general MIDI piano sound is what you have. And that's it for this piano. It's a basic model with very few frills, but it does work as a basic MIDI controller. And for most people, when they buy a piano, they just want to have a piano they can practice on. And that's what you get with here. The review. Okay, here's where I'm actually going to start talking about how I feel about the piano. So I'm just going to go through like all the points I think are the most important for you to consider So let's get started with that. I actually like that the piano is so straightforward and easy to use. I don't have to wait or anything when I click it on, but it also doesn't have features I'd consider to be essential, like a metronome. It's also a little bit cumbersome that the button is not immediately clickable on the front panel of the machine, but you know, for the sake of aesthetics, I guess this is an okay compromise. Now, the sound chip seems to support only 64-note polyphony, but functionally, it's more like half of that, since I believe each key takes up 2 of these sounding slots. This is to say that when you do a 4-octave glissando, or you use the pedal for lots of chord clusters, you may be able to hear the first notes falling away as your glissando or your sustain wash exceeds the maximum sounding slots that this sound chip can support. Here's a demonstration of the effect. So I'm going to hold down the pedal and do a glissando, and you're going to start to hear after about 3 or 4 octaves that the bottommost notes start fading away because the sound chip can only support 32 sounding slots. So take a listen to this note and pay attention to that note and realize when it goes away. You hear like right around here the lower notes start going away. You can just start to hear, like, once we exceed 4 octaves, the sound starts to go away. Not that big of a deal, but maybe something to be aware of, you know? Now, for all intents and purposes, as I'll mention later, this piano isn't really aimed at performers who would commonly use these techniques or need them to sound precise or anything like that, but it may be something you'd like to be aware of. Now, the pedals all function exactly as they should. That said, the soft pedal sounds like a weird on-off controller that instantly muffles the sound and then bizarrely restores it if lifted. This is not at all how the pedal would function in real life, and it's a strange quirk other models don't seem to share, at least in my memory. Now, regarding the keys, this piano is advertised as semi-weighted, and I do feel a little tiny bit of resistance when I depress the keys, but to have any kind of control with the key velocity, which is to say the loudness of the notes you play, you really need action that's a lot better than this. This kind of key bed would be good for maybe a new learner to become acquainted with the hand positioning and finger movements, but the ideal, of course, would be a machine that also mimics the weightedness of a real piano. If you require a semi-weighted key bed for some reason that I can't think of, this is your model. But for normal human beings, a fully weighted model with accurate key springiness is really the way to go. Additionally, the keys are a little bit thinner than a typical key bed. This piano is definitely beneficial to those with small hands. I actually got out my ruler when I noticed the difference as I was playing octaves, and I think this Glarry model has keys that are 2 or 3/100ths of an inch shorter than the ones I play daily. I've always been a fan of Yamaha keyboards. Me too, bud. But after trying this one, I can't tell the difference. Okay, guy needs his hearing checked. The sound is exceptional, it's general MIDI, and the feel of the keys is just like a real piano. Okay, no shade to Glarry, of course, because there's clearly a market for this product. But this is a beginner model for beginners. The sound is general MIDI, and the feel of the keys is plastic. Like, it's plastic. It's semi-weighted, and it's good, but it's not just like a real piano. This is a fake comment. This is not... What are we doing here? Get your hearing checked. I have no idea what this reviewer is talking about, but it's certainly not this machine. I don't know what this is. So while that was a bit negative, I do like that this piano lives up to its intention of being a portable machine in weight. It weighs about as much as one of my sound monitors here, or my kitchen trash can. It's really not heavy whatsoever, and I have to assume the tiny amount of weight that it does have mostly comes from the metal legs and the onboard speakers. The good thing about this is that it's effortless to move around and set up, but a possible downside is that it's relatively more unstable than previous models I've reviewed, even with the included 4 stabilization pieces. My cat doesn't like to jump on it because it wiggles around, probably not helped also by the fact that I've got carpet in this office and it's in the middle of the room. If I bump into this accidentally, I wouldn't trust it to stay upright. So if you're thinking about getting this model, I'd especially encourage you to place it front-facing a wall if possible. And with that said, it seems like the biggest selling point about the piano is its portability, so it's a little bit strange to me that the legs don't fold in. I know I should be reviewing the model that's here and not the imaginary one in my mind, but it seems so easy to think of, and it's just not the case. The sheet music stand doesn't fold either, but at least it's really quick to remove. And to be fair, a lot of portable pianos don't have foldable legs and a foldable sheet music stand, so I mean, maybe I'm expecting a little bit too much, but that said, I think a little more attention to the construction of this piano would help me recommend it much more strongly, given the other aspects of the device that aren't excelling in any particular category that matters to me. You gave me an extra Bluetooth cable and an extra screwdriver, but I'd trade these in an instant for like a carrying case, or the ability to store the floating pedals under the body, or, you know, anything like this. Anyway, here are the pros about the piano. It's extremely easy to set up. You can just plug and play. There's no frills and no distractions at all with this thing. Next, it's inexpensive and it's full size. For a model of this cheap price of $160 USD, it's full size at 88 keys with onboard speakers, and I mean, I think it's very pretty. It's very pretty. The third pro is that it's lightweight, and what I mean by this is that it's very portable. It's got an extremely compact design that just works. But here are the cons with this device. It is relatively featureless. It's got like a volume knob and an on-off switch, and outputs for MIDI, headphones, and the pedaling rig, but it doesn't have a metronome, there's no sound switching, no transposition feature, no onboard recording ability, and the GM stock piano sound is nothing remarkable. This is it. It's what you see is what you get. There's no extra features. Next, there's semi-weighted action and the thinner keys, and because of these two things, they make controlling your music a little bit difficult. And then finally, it is lightweight, but that also makes it somewhat unstable. I would have expected more accommodations with the construction, like a carrying bag or foldable legs, but no, this is what you get. The bottom line. While I think this product definitely has an audience, the audience is probably going to be mostly beginners. I don't think this piano excels at any particular aspect except for its price. This is literally the cheapest 88-key model I'm able to find with a quick search on Google and Amazon. And I do recommend the budding pianist's first time be with a full-size piano with onboard speakers. I will say that if you're able to spring even $100 more, you could have a piano that's more fully featured in just about every way. That said, while this piano isn't going to win any awards for its realistic action or sound quality, it is a device that makes playing fun, anywhere as a portable model. It's able to be used as a MIDI controller for recordings, and it will be great for practicing any piano music there is with its complete keybed. It doesn't have any distractions between you and your music, and it seems reliable. And in the end, that's probably the most important point. Inexpensive, reliable, and looks good. And that's it. This has been my review of the Glarry GPP-110. I've reviewed a couple other pianos, so if you're shopping around, you may want to give these a watch. Thanks to Glarry for sending me this review model, and if you'd like me to review your musical products, or if you have any questions about this product, please just send me a message. Thanks a bunch for watching. I'll be posting more music soon. Bye.